Let you all open all your three eyes.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
In this sacred manual of power manifestation, which serves as a scriptural authority containing the Shastra Pramanas, eternal unchangeable truths, Apta Pramanas, Atma Pramanas, Sakshi Pramanas, and Prataksha Pramanas, we present to you the various powers of Paramashiva. By this, we place before humanity the supreme authenticity of the power manifestation science established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness Nithyananda Paramashivam. Paramashiva has systematically revealed these powers in their purest forms as various techniques and revelations to experience pure oneness with Paramashiva. As a direct experience of oneness with Paramashiva, his Shaktis powerfully manifest in an initiated being at different levels of human consciousness, physicality, physiology, psychology, and neurology permanently. We offer these power manifestation manuals to celebrate your experience of oneness with the Supreme Paramashiva. Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam, Jnana Paddhati Manual, under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasanidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadusham Tattvamasya Lakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is power manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is power manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagavan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn, beyond form, formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created. Destruction need to be created and pulling out of delusion need to be created. Liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, Trobhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And Anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 phase, Ishana Murti as 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti as 5 phase, Agora Murti has 5 phase, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phase. So, Tatpurusha Murti as is 5 phase, Agora Murti has is 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti has is 5 phase, Satyojata Murti has is 5 phase, Ishana Murti has is 5 phase. All these 5 Murtis, 5 phases put together is 25 phases of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient Enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam has made Science of Power Manifestation Yoga temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam and Nithyananda Order of Monks, Nuns, Hindu diasporas are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nithyananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamalapita Sarvanyapita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagavan now explains who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas. Exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva gana. All the Shiva ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada. Then all other Akhadas. Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. choose your guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity, which is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. Diksha, or the initiation from His Divine Holiness, Nithyananda Paramashiva, makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars, and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashiva, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas, or the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees, and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas, or the scientific studies which can be measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Powerful cognition from Bhagavad Gita Decoded, Bhagavan Satsang.
If wave starts thinking, it is different from ocean. And if the wave starts defending itself from the ocean, all we need to understand is how much wave tries to defend itself from the ocean, it is going to fall into the same ocean. As a nature, wave starts in the ocean, exists in the ocean, and is going to fall into the ocean. If it understands it is part of the ocean, it will be utterly relaxed. It will live the blissful life. If it doesn't understand, it will fight with the ocean, but it will fall into the ocean. The ultimate secret which Krishna wants to reveal is existence, Parashakti, Brahman, is your friend. The universal energy is not your enemy. It is intelligence and it responds to your thoughts. This is the first understanding. Next, in this chapter, he says, I am that. He says, I am the whole existence. The next chapter, he gives the experience of the cosmic consciousness to Arjuna. These three chapters are step by step. In the first he says, don't have enmity with existence. Next he says, I am that same energy. Not only you don't have to have existence, have a deep love. You don't have to have enmity. Yesterday's chapter says, drop your enmity against universal energy, Brahman and Atman. Today he starts how to be connected, how to feel connected to the existence. Tomorrow in the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, he gives the experience to Arjuna that the whole cosmic consciousness is he. He is in the whole cosmic consciousness. Yesterday he removes the enmity. Today he creates a feeling of connectedness. Tomorrow he gives the Advaitic experience. All these 3 chapters are step by step. Step by step, they are elevating Arjuna from low level to higher level. Let us study this Shastra with intense devotion and a deep sincerity. Along with Arjuna, we will also grow. Along with Arjuna, we will also grow. We will not miss it. Krishna says, for your benefit, because you are my dear friend, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Please be very clear. Krishna is explaining his glory, not for his sake, for Arjuna's sake. Krishna is not explaining his glory to show his ego. No. Here, Krishna is not explaining his glory is out of ego. He is explaining to give understanding to Arjuna. He is explaining so that Arjuna will start experiencing him. So be very clear. When Krishna says here, I am, he means the cosmic consciousness, the egoless being, the enlightened energy. Again and again, he expresses the glory of enlightenment, glory of Atmajnana. That is why he is so confident and so clear, with such a clarity, with such a coolness. He explains, I am everything. Even to utter these words, you need courage. Please be very clear. Even to utter these words, you need courage. No normal man can say, I am God to somebody. If you say, you can be sure, next day you will be in asylum. You will be in asylum. And they will be reserving a special seat. He is courageous enough to declare, and not only declare, the person who is listening experiences it. What is the science? What do you need for an enlightened man to declare himself as enlightened and to declare himself as a God? And what you need for a disciple to experience that as a truth? 2 things. There are so many hundreds of enlightened people declare this truth again and again and again. But some people who listen, they became enlightened, like Arjuna, like Vivekananda. Ramakrishna says, who came as Rama, who came as Krishna, is residing in this body as Ramakrishna. Boldly declares. That also not when he was healthy, when he was suffering by cancer. He is suffering from cancer, throat cancer. That time he declares boldly, who came as Rama, who came as Krishna, has come down in this body as Ramakrishna. But that word has done something into Vivekananda. Narendra has become Vivekananda. Sometimes a disciple who hears, he becomes enlightened. Sometimes the disciple who hears, he is hurt, he is disturbed. What you need to create this experience? See, be very clear. Experience of Krishna, experience of Christ, experience of Buddha, experience of Mahavira is all one and the same. As enlightenment experience, it is all one and the same. But when they expressed, why different kinds of reactions? When they express, when they declare their divinity, their experience, somebody has become enlightened and somebody has ran away from Buddha. If you see, when he started telling, he is enlightened. There were many disciples around him who are practicing with him. Actually, there are few people who are staying with Buddha and practicing. When they heard that Buddha declaring enlightened, he is enlightened, they ran away from him. Some people run away, some people became enlightened, and now all we need is, we also should become enlightened when we listen Krishna's words. How can we listen? And how can we have that benefit? People who want to run away naturally will not come all the way, especially in this LA traffic. Now all we need to do is, we must become enlightened. How to do? With what mood we are supposed to receive these words? Arjuna, the Krishna's disciples, he is totally in love with Krishna. He is totally surrendered to Krishna. He is not ready to suspect anything. By now, he is very clear. His head has stopped working. His head has stopped working. His logic has stopped analyzing. Please be very clear. This truth should be declared only to a person who is totally, intimately related, feeling connected with the divine. He says, Mahabaho Srudme Paramam Vasa Yateham Priyamanaya. Because you are my dear friend, you are deeply connected to me, I am revealing this truth to you. Let me explain a few basic things. Actually, when you feel deeply connected to some person, the other will almost look like a god. You will feel so deeply related, whether it is your husband or your wife or your kids or your parents or your master. If you feel deeply connected to the person, he will look like a god. Whatever he does, you will feel that he is divine. You will feel he is divine. Why do you think these eternal lovers, Ambikavati, Amaravati, Devadas and this Laila Majnu, Devadas and Parvati, all these people, they feel the other person is God. They almost feel the other person is divine. Romeo and Juliet, they give their life for the other person. Why? When you feel deeply connected, when you feel deeply related, when you are in love with the other being, he will look almost like a god. All we need is just an attitude of deeply connecting through the heart.
So beautiful. Wow, what a powerful cognition. How you have to receive the master and how you have to start living from the space of what Bhagavan is giving us. Such a powerful cognition. How to receive your Guru. With that, let's go to the Shastra Pramana for manifesting the power of teleporting.
Section 3 of Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4 and 3.5. Yatha hi arto sputo drishta savadhane pichetasi bhuyah sputataro bhati swabaloddyoga bhavitaha tatha yat paramarthena yena yatra yatha stitam tattatha balamakramya nachirat sampravartate.
Spanda Karika, Section 3, Vibhuti Spanda, Sutra 3.4, 3.5. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, indeed just as an object or static matter, which is, in spite of the attentiveness of the mind, is perceived and seen indistinctly at first, then appears manifest more distinctly clearly when observed with the strength of one's visual power. So when the yogi restores the power of spanda, the dynamic activity, in the highest essential nature of oneness with Paramashiva, then whatever things or objects or ideas which is static matter exist in the highest dimension, in whichever form, in whichever place, time, in whichever state or dimension, wherever the things or objects at once appear and manifest in the very way by the nature of its strategic existence. Bhagavan beautifully says how when the wave thinks it is alone, it suffers. It tries to build a castle with the sand and the pebbles and the shells and all the things that is in the shore, and tries to say, okay, I'm going to be here permanent. But wave does not, it hardly knows that in few seconds it's going to be the ocean itself. It is going to merge into the ocean. That is how the very nature we exist, Bhagavan says. We do not have an independent intelligence. That happens only when we are merged with the ultimate intelligence. Bhagavan beautifully says here how we, the Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and all the gurus claimed they were God. In spite of the cancer they were having, Ramana Maharshi or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, they were able to say very boldly that they are God. And so beautifully, they were able to manifest the ultimate reality. And unless you know how to receive, how Bhagavan said, Buddha's devotees, disciples just ran away when they heard this, because they thought the other person became arrogant, because they had the pattern of arrogance. The whole space shifts when you are in the divine space. You think that the other person is God. Bhagavan gives even the example of mere humans who fall in love and think the other person is God, as parents as God, or husbands as God, as anyone in there as gods, and they're ready to sacrifice their life, even physically, to the extent how much they love the other person. That is because they see the other person as God. Here, beautifully, Bhagavan says, if you are ready to receive the master from that space, Arjuna received the Krishna from that space, simply he will be able to experience the space of God. Ultimately, the oneness space flowers, and simply you merge into the ultimate. And giving up the identity, the inner identity, the outer identity, and merging with the higher identity, the aham, the who you are, is the ultimate space of oneness, sacrifice, surrender that Bhagavan is talking about in this sutra. And beautifully, how Madurai Kannagi was ready to set the whole Madurai on fire because it worked, and the whole space she was in, she saw her husband as God. Each of every one who have experienced anything, a stone as God, or the husband as God, or parents are God, or their guru as God, they simply have manifested the extreme powers. And again, Bhagavan, Paramashiva has come down to explain this, and he makes it easier by initiating us into the science and also turning us towards him and bringing the love for the master, and love for the master becomes love in merging with him as the ultimate. How Andal just disappeared into Vishnu, Manikavaskar disappeared into Nadaraja, the ultimate love. They even forgot their body and they were able to disappear themselves into the ultimate. To that extent, the possibility exists for us to just even make this body disappear into the higher reality. How the waves disappear into the ocean, like that, they just disappeared this matter into the ultimate consciousness. So, such a powerful cognition. Let's go to the Apta Pramana for manifesting the powers of teleportation. Such a beautiful story of in Srimad Bhagavatam about Sudama. Sudama was his childhood friend of Krishna who always thought of Krishna, always his mind was filled with Krishna. In praise of Krishna, he lived all his life. I am Krishna's friend. Ask him, he knows me. Tell him, Sudama is here to see him. He cried, Sudama cried. So powerful, he knows that Krishna knows that he always loves him. Krishna was overjoyed. Rukmini and Krishna ran to the gate to receive him and even did wash his leg and ask him how he was and take his flattened rice with no taste and started eating it. And simply, Sudama was so shy to even give. He grabbed it from him and he was eating it. That beautiful space. Sudama is not just a Sudama, a weak Brahmin, but he was a Brahma Rishi who has come down to experience Krishna as the ultimate. He only lived in such a poverty, but he does not have the pain of anything because his heart is fully filled with only Krishna. How he was, how he is doing, how he is experiencing all the things. So he goes and asks him all that. Krishna welcomed Sudama to his palace, made him sit on the bed. And Krishna sat on the floor, took Sudama's feet and began to pour water. Sometimes later when Krishna and Sudama was alone, Krishna asked Sudama, what is his sister-in-law had sent him? Surely she must have sent something for me. Sudama, I know my sister-in-law, she is definitely sent something. Krishna literally demands, and beautifully he takes the flattened rice, experience it, and that night he rests. And morning when he goes, he's so shocked to see his family from rags turning into robes, fitting for royalty. Such was the manifestation of Sudama, the space that he is in. Like Bhagavan said, the whole cosmos showers when you are in bliss with the ultimate, in ultimate romance. Now let's go to Atma Pramana, Leelas of Bhagavan.
Wealth. So constantly create and experience inner world fulfillment. I tell you, if you are engaged in these two with awareness, you are a karma yogi. You are a karma yogi. You are living perfect enlightenment. In this fourth part of the Nkriya, I am making your senses into circular, not linear. Circular. Please understand. Energy should not be constantly going out. It should be redirected, diverted inward. That is the reason I am asking you to get into the Sambhari Mudra. Some books say name of this mudra in some other way. Don't bother, whatever is the name. Know the technique, that's all. There are 3-4 names used for this mudra in different books. Thumbs in your ears, index finger and ring finger on the eyes, index finger and middle finger on the eyes, ring finger on the nostrils and little finger on the lips. Your palms on cheeks. Press with intense intention, sankalpa, to divert all the energy going out through these five senses inward and hit your root center where the Kundalini is sleeping, where your potential energy is sleeping. So that the Kundalini energy is awakened, the cycle of energy starts happening in you. Please understand, once you connect this cycle, after that, whether your senses are open or closed, the energy leakage will not be there. There will not be energy leakage. It will just be cycling inside. Diverting the energy inside. Understand, when the energy is diverted and reconnected, there will not be not only any leakage, it will go on getting built intensely like a transformer. See, when it circles again and again and again, the intensity gets built. Intensity gets built very clearly when you reconnect and stop allowing the leakage. That is the reason I am asking you to divert the whole energy inside. When you really feel you can't hold your breath anymore because you lock all five senses, you can't hold the breath anymore, then stop. Allow the breathing to balance itself. Open your nostrils. Maybe for 10 seconds, you don't breathe or breathe out. Allow the body to breathe by itself and exhale by itself and balance itself. Only one important thing you need to know, if you already have high blood pressure, or if you already have any serious sickness related to lungs or any other serious illness, don't do this kriya. Because it's a strong way of forcibly diverting the energy inside. But sure way of sudden enlightenment. This process leads to sudden enlightenment. Awakening of the non-mechanical parts of the brain. The main part, this N Kriya, that locking and diverting all the energy inward, should be done at least 21 times. And the fifth part, intense humming, that is to digest all the awakened energy in your muscles. The fifth part, intense humming, it is a technique to digest all the energy. It's like when the Kundalini is intensely awakened, it should get converted into understanding, intelligence by your biomemory. It should become part of your muscle memory and biomemory. Only then it will stay inside you. So this humming is just to make that energy to stay inside you, get digested by the muscle memory and biomemory. The sixth part is facing the Bididi Kalpataru Banyan tree. People ask me, what is the significance of facing the Kalpataru Bididi Banyan tree? Understand, Bididi banyan tree is used as an energy satellite to send intense energy and spiritual experiences and everything to all of you, and to receive all your prayers and fulfill by the superconscious energy. Bididi banyan tree, the Kalpataru banyan tree is used as the energy satellite by the superconscious energy, by divine, by God, to reach out to all of you. Please understand, even the materials which you are receiving, vibhuti, kumkum, sandalwood, paste, honey, rudraksha. Now I am going to start sending Navaratnas, 9 gems. The next is that only. Now the rudraksha is very successfully happening. So the 9 gems will start in few days. I already started getting the gems. They are ready. I am just teleporting some, at least few hundred rudrakshas. Once that becomes clear, then next starts gems. I am just collecting 1 or 2 rudrakshas which got teleported and doing the scientific test that both are same quality and all that verification. Once that is done, the next is Navaratnas. I want all of you to know, all these objects, from the matter it becomes energy, it reaches to Bididi banyan tree, Kalpataru banyan tree, wherever the objects may be. See, even when the Akshatas were teleported from Madurai, it first came to this banyan tree, then to my Anandagandha. From there it travels to the disciple or a deity who is receiving. If the deity is receiving, it reaches to the deity. Or if the disciple is receiving, it reaches the Anandagandha of the disciple. Then it gets materialized in the hand. We already ordered for a scanner and some of the equipments necessary to trace these movements. In few months we will clearly scientifically prove how when some objects gets teleported. Actually, if you scan my body at that moment when I am saying it is moving, you can see that object entering into my body and getting disappeared through scan. That clear energy wave, that matter entering and getting dismantled and moving and entering into the disciple who is receiving in his Anandagandha, his or our Anandagandha, and getting assembled in the hand. We can very clearly show you. So Bididi banyan tree acts like a energy center, a relay and receiving center. Cosmos uses, the divine energy uses the Bididi Kalpavriksha banyan tree to relate with all of us.
So beautiful. Apta Pramana, Atma Pramana, now Shakshi Pramana. Millions of disciple devotees all over the world, initiated by Bhagavan, are materializing and manifesting and teleporting and sharing their experience with us. Here we have Natalia from Kailash Kodiyat group. She has said yesterday during the teleportation and session, 2 small plate from the sideboard, I put some vibhuti in one, and then I recited the Mahavakya with Swamiji, and I opened my eyes. The vibhuti hadn't moved, but my surprise there, she saw the grains of rice in the second plate. So beautiful. She kept the vibhuti, but in the second plate, you can see the turmeric rice appearing. So that's a beautiful thing, how she experienced the teleporting of rice grains.
Power of teleportation. teleporting energized rice grain from one area within a closed room to an appointed earthen container. Setting up. For the setting up process, you will need number 1, camera with timestamp, number 2, Yananjana, this is optional, number 3, earthen container, and number 4, a cup of uncooked rice grains. Take a few moments to set up your camera. Step number 1, download the timestamp app. Step number 2, click on videos. Step number 3, ensure that time is shown on screen. And step number 4, make sure the camera is facing you. Please take a few minutes to set it up. Guidelines. Before we start the power manifestation process, let us go over the setup. Number 1, choose a comfortable quiet room which to sit. Number 2, you will need to clean and dry earthen containers with one lid and uncooked rice. Number 3, place the uncooked rice grains in one of the earthen containers and place that container with lid. Number 4, place the other container beside it. Number 5, set up your camera in front of you to fully capture yourself as well as the earthen containers. To start, number 6, turn on the video recording device with timestamp, ensuring it has a wide-angle horizontal view. Number 7, if you have Yananjana, apply between your eyebrows. If you do not, bring your awareness to your brow center. Number 8, video verify. Bring one earthen container at a time close to the camera and show that it is clean, dry, and empty. Then place the rice into one of the earthen container and close the lid and put it back down on the table or floor. So both containers should be sitting side by side. Number 9, sit in front of both the containers so that you are visible to the camera during the whole duration of the manifestation. Number 10, bring your awareness between the brow center and gently focus on the rice grains while connecting to Paramashiva and asking for the teleportation to manifest. Number 11, sit for 21 minutes, unclutching from all thoughts that arise during the chanting of the Mahavakya. Enjoy the experience. During the Mahavakya chanting, the rice will be energized to teleport. Number 12, after the Mahavakya subsides, verify that the rice inside the closed container has teleported to the open container. Capture this on video. The manifestation range of outcomes. 1, temperature change in the body or in the earthen container. 2, vibration in body or in the earthen container. 3, any teleportation of energized rice grains, any quantity to the earthen container on its own. Now number 13, turn off your camera. And 14, celebrate your manifestation of teleporting energized rice grains to an earthen container without external aid. Prataksha Pramana. Scientific studies, what can be measured, measuring the effect of being in enlightenment state. The science of teleportation. Science defines teleportation as a process by which an object is dematerialized and essential information about its atomic structure is sent to another point in space, where the object is instantaneously rematerialized or reassembled into its component atoms. Explained using quantum mechanics, teleportation is a mechanism by which information of the exact state of an atom can be transmitted from one location to another. In this process, information is transported from one location to another using an entangled quantum state. Known as quantum teleportation, this process involves a phenomena called entanglement, which is possible only on a microscale. As mentioned earlier, in classical terms, information is called a bit, and in quantum mechanics, it is called qubit. Whereas quantum entanglement allows teleportation to happen instantaneously, recreation of masses larger than an atom would also need a classical information link between the two locations. This link cannot process information faster than the speed of light, and thus there will be a time delay from point A to point B for teleportation to occur. Source is taken from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 10, Science of Miracles, page 202. There is a physical evidence of teleportation of structures ranging from sacred ash to larger objects across continent. Example, from Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, Bengaluru Adinam to several international locations outside of India. In physics laboratories, the largest distance of experimental teleportation is 143 kilometers. Larger masses made up of multiple atoms would require more time for reassembly, as they still need to use the classical channel in spite of information having preceded it instantaneously through quantum entanglement. Quantum teleportation is actually a process of replication similar to cloning or biological faxing, where the same information is used to create a duplicate exactly like the original object. The object itself is not teleported, but only information about it is captured and used. The main difference between teleportation, as science knows it, and more conventional forms of sending information from one place to another is that this is a process of instantaneous teleportation. In 1998, for the first time, a team of researchers at California Institute of Technology successfully teleported a photon across a distance of approximately 1 meter. However, in the process, the original object was destroyed. Since then, a number of teleportation experiments have been performed. In 2006, physicists at the Niels Bohr Institute, Denmark, led by Eugene Polzik, teleported photons across half a meter and used them to illuminate a cloud of atoms. This was considered a milestone because it involved teleportation between light and matter. In 2013, the research group succeeded in teleporting information between two clouds of gas atoms and to carry out the teleportation. Not just one or few times, but successfully every single time. The results were published in scientific journal, Nature Physics. In stark contrast to these efforts, the teleportation of whole objects and even people is a well-defined practice in the mystical tradition. Unlike in the scientific context, it is not just the vital information about the object, but the object itself which is teleported.
Power manifestation instructions. Let's sit straight, the head, neck, and back in a straight line, so that beautifully the Kundalini energy raises to the Agnya where the manifestation happens. Usually, our awareness is on Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipuraha, where navel center, your below navel center. Here, bringing the awareness to your third eye and sitting straight will give us amazing possibility of power manifestation. Now let's understand few words that Bhagavan is repeatedly using. Shaktipada, oneness, be unclutched, initiation. So here first we will see in Bhagavan's words what is Shaktipada.
Let me give an introduction about what is Shaktipada process. Please understand. You would have seen or heard about how the chicken sits on the egg and hatches. Of course, in the modern countries, this does not happen. Machine sits on the egg and our egg sits on the machine. In those days, originally when hens and chicken were getting produced on the planet Earth, the hen used to sit on the chicken and hen used to sit on the egg and the chicken will come out of the egg. See, same way, Sadashiva, sitting means the ultimate cosmic energy sitting on the individual soul and making the individual soul into cosmic energy is Shaktipada. Hence, sitting on the egg and making the chicken happen, same way. You may think, how come, what is going on here? That hen is only sitting just by the body heat of the hen, the egg is becoming chicken. Because no surgery is done and nothing goes inside. It's only sitting. Same way, It is just sitting. It's only the presence, the Shaktipada, makes the individual soul into cosmic soul.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained Shaktipada, how individual soul becomes cosmic soul. And let's listen to initiation.
You see, let me explain the initiation. Initiation is the process beyond your intellectual understanding. The transmission of lamp happens. Now, you understood something intellectually. There is something which is not understood, which can't be transmitted through the words. That is transmitted. That's what we call initiation. Sometimes I tell people that unless you are initiated, the techniques do not create the result. The reason is you do not grasp completely whatever is expressed through words. Initiation is like it just transmits whatever need to be transmitted beyond logic and beyond words. People ask me why to wear this bracelet or this mala and all those things. This all will remind you. Why bracelet in the hand? It will remind you, before eating, did you meditate? It's a constant reminder. Before eating, let you be reminded, did you do the meditation? That is why this bracelet. That is why this mala. That is why this external things. Sometimes these external things does a big job of reminding you constantly. That is why take the help of external things also, nothing wrong. People ask me, why we can just be spiritual without having external things? If you can, really you are welcome. But I don't think anybody who speaks in that way is successful. I've never seen people becoming successful avoiding the external things, just having internal things. And it is just nice way of escaping from yourself.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained initiation. Let's listen to be unclutched. What is to be unclutched?
The thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Because the gap between two thoughts is too small. The neutral space between the two thoughts is too small. You think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shape form. It is not. By your very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Between every thought, you experience a neutral space. When you change the gear, whether you go from neutral to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to whatever gears you may change, but every time you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to the next gear. Even if you want to go from 2 to 3, you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to 3. Same way, between every thought, you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thought. Between every thought. That neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. The peace which exists, the bliss which exists already in you, between every thought, the gap of the thought, the gap between the thoughts, that neutral space is the peace, is the bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical and unclutched by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. You need to understand one more thing. This technique of be unclutched, it does miracles in your being, in the body level, or in the mental level, or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are unclutched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump. The transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just one jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
The oneness space is the most beautiful space that Bhagavan himself is explaining how we are ferocious. Beyond the tiredness and boredom, we can experience the space of oneness and be unclutched.
Oneness is not imagination. Oneness is not visualization. Oneness is not even just declaration. It is your existence. An idea which is you is oneness. The idea which has become part of your very space, which does not tire you or bore you by the passage of the time, is oneness. Mahadeva says in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully explains in the Agama, Kala, Yama cannot tire you or bring boredom to you if something becomes your space. Devi achieved the blissful state and union with Mahadeva on Shivaratri day because our space became oneness. Anything which brings tiredness or boredom has not yet become your space. If living in this body brings you tiredness and boredom, you are not going to be living in this body forever. When that becomes too much, you are going to drop it and move ahead. If you want to be in oneness forever, it should become part of your space, means you should become ferocious with you and break this very tiredness and boredom. Only when you deal you with the ferociousness, you break the tiredness and boredom. With that ferociousness, you need to make oneness as your space. Anything stands as an imagination in the length level, visualization in the breadth level, declaration in the depth level. If you open your time with ferociousness, it just sinks into space level. With this ferociousness, the time layer in you opens, and the oneness from imagination to visualization to declaration, it becomes your space, the way of existence.
The most important, Bhagavan says, being unclutched, understanding the Shaktipada, the oneness space, and chanting the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya, the power of the Mahavakya pushes you into the higher states of consciousness. Here Bhagavan himself explains how we can experience the Shaktipada, raised higher consciousness through Mahavakya.
It's one of the very important revelation by Sadashiva. All the electronic equipments work when the electrons are made to vibrate. That happens by the light. When the electricity is supplied, the light particle vibrates, the electronic equipment starts working. Just like that, the spiritual power and the umbilical cord connection, spiritual umbilical cord connection between you and me, it works with sound particle. For example, my integrity with the cosmos, Sadashiva, Mahasadashiva, it reverberates in certain level of frequency. When you are integrated to me, you also start reverberating in the same frequency. If your integrity goes down, that is when you start connecting with me only as a manager or this organization head or your Purvashram father, mother. Your connection with me goes down to the lower level if the integrity gets reduced. I was wondering, what is the way we can bring people to the higher integrity immediately and the feeling connection, so they start manifesting the powers, they start staying in the space of Sadashivatva. Sadashiva revealed a beautiful sound. I can tell you, this is like a password. At any point, if you are not able to bring yourself to oneness, you are a little shaken, disturbed, or for some reason, you are not able to bring yourself to oneness. This is like a password. You type, whether your mind feels connected or not, the energy will start flowing in you beyond the depth dimension. You see, all mind oscillation, restlessness, all mental idea based feeling connected or not feeling connected is only length, breadth, depth level, not in the space level. But this sound will straight infuse energy from the space level. Like for example, if the power goes off, automatically the generator will get switched on and the power supply will be going on. So end result will not be lost. Whether government power supply or the generator power supply, end result will not be stopped. So whenever you feel little that oneness is, you are not catching it, just feed this password. Immediately the oneness will open up and you will start manifesting the powers, energy, and the whole space will shift. It is directly from Sadashiva. It's a beautiful sound. I don't even want to say it's a mantra. It is not even a mantra because there is no meaning in it. You can't derive a meaning for it. It just flashed like a password for all the initiations I am giving. One single password for all the initiations I am giving. And the initiations I gave, I am giving, I will be giving. For all that. This is like one password. Don't even repeat like a mantra. Just feed like a password. And it will just open up. Your whole being will open up. Listen carefully. It starts with the vibration Om. Listen and then repeat. Om. Very deep. Om. Nithyananda. Nithyananda. Maha Sadashivoham.
So Bhagavan gave beautiful explanation of how you can be in Shaktipada. Visualize Paramashiva who has come down as Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam from Kailasha, remembering Paramashiva in your third eye, again and again, bringing your awareness to your third eye, simply makes you manifest powers. Absolute unclutching. How Bhagavan said, the neutral zone, nothing ever touches the screen. Like same way, the movie does not touch the screen, whether it is happening in ferocious or any soft, beautiful, nothing touches the screen. Be unclutched like the screen. And to experience the state of Paramashiva, your inner space being completely unclutched. Complete completion to experience the space of Paramashiva. Inside us, the complete completion happens when we are in tune with Paramashiva. That everything is redundant and irrelevant. The essence of completion is irrelevant. Nothing matters in your life because everything is complete completion. Oneness with Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, in ferocious breaking the boredom and tiredness, just being in the space of oneness with Paramashiva to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Tyaga as Paramashiva is your only strength, now declaring complete integrity with Bhagavan to experience the being of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, chanting the Mahavakya raises your frequency, and that is your only strength to manifest any reality. Being in this beautiful space of Paramashiva, you can experience such a beautiful space, state, powers, and becoming the being of Paramashiva, manifesting whatever you want. Now, you will be manifesting the powers, watching the oneness capsule, and chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. We'll be playing the Mahavakya and the oneness capsule for you to manifest powers. At end of the Mahavakya, you can start with the verification and sharing and causing. Thank you.
Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vani open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Verification process. Please verify the following. Number 1, that the time and date stamp appear in your video. Number 2, that your video have a wide angle horizontal view and that both containers are in full camera view at all times. Camera to capture both empty clean containers to start, as well as the rice being placed in one of the containers, and then covered with a lid. Both containers are sitting side by side on table or the floor. Number 3, verify that you have not edited your video in any way and that the camera has not moved. Number 4, verify that your video recording is continuous without stopping and restarting during the manifestation process. Number 5, verify that the teleportation of the energized rice from one closed container to the other open container has manifested on its own physically before you with zero intervention. Now that the verification process is complete, the next instructions will guide you where to upload and share your video. Thank you so much for your participation.
Beautiful. We are at the end of the power manifestation, but most important part of the power manifestation. Here, we are going to share all that you have manifested with the social media groups. Here we have Sri Kailasha Kotyar Manifesting Power groups. Thousands of people are part of that, and you can share there and you can post your powerful cognition and the videos. The link is tinyurl.com/powermanifestation. It is at the left corner of the page. You can click on it and you can post your beautiful experience in the Power Manifestation group. Why sharing and causing is very important part of Power Manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully explains that sharing is pulling us out of delusion and causing is liberating us. We are the ones who need to start experiencing the higher states of reality, how we need to exist. Beautifully, Bhagavan explains when you are sharing with others the ultimate beautiful multidimensional logic, your brain rewires into the higher space of consciousness, the Turyatita state. Again and again, when you experience even a little bit, you share with the world, your experience becomes reality. Same thing when you cause others to come and get initiated for higher reality, you are caused into the higher purpose, the ultimate reality. Bhagavan says extreme causing, extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. So beautifully he explains how our strength is declared on Paramashiva. The power manifestation happens exactly in tune to that. And sharing with the world, continuously reiterating ourselves the experience that we had from the powerful cognition and manifesting the space of Paramashiva, the state of Paramashiva, the beings of Paramashiva, we become Paramashiva. Go on sharing and causing, which is the most important part of how you have experienced your reality. When you go to a temple, we pray and we see that beautiful experience happen in us, and then share with the world that how amazing the temple experience has manifested as your reality. Same way, when you manifest powers, when you share with the world, it becomes more and more the depth cognition of you, and you will be experiencing more powers. Even if you're manifested very small, it does not matter the quantity. Bhagavan says the quality is important. If it is authentic, please go ahead and share with the world. Do not doubt, have self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred come and block anything. Experience the ultimate in deep seeking and gratitude. Bhagavan manifest in you with a deep prayer, that asking Bhagavan to make this reality as your existential reality. With that, let's end with the Purna Mantra. Thanking Bhagavan for all these great experience. We have come to the end of the Power Manifestation course, and we end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Padaka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you for participating in the Jnana Paddhati, Nithyananda Jnana Paddhati course. Please go ahead and select more power manifestation and every day experience the ultimate reality for yourself. Nithyananda.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham